Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Stately. This is City Skylines and welcome to the fair town of Good Intentions, where today's episode is brought to you by Zubu Mafu. Zubu Mafu is Good Intentions' first and only zoo. Lions and tigers and bears. Zubu Mafu doesn't have any of those things, but we have birds and reindeer and antelope. So come visit Zubu Mafu to see animals you can see out in the wild, only in cages. That's right, Zubu Mafu. Just for you. And with that out of the way, folks, let's get started today. When I started out this city, I unlocked all 81 grids on the map because I didn't want to feel restrained while building my city. I've noticed that in a lot of cases, when you start out with like a 1x1, you end up filling it up completely, and then you get another 1x1 and you fill that up completely, and you end up with these weird kind of overcrowded looking cities that just suddenly taper off into nothingness. But another benefit here is that we can make this less of a city and more of a region. So what I'd like to do today is create a little town, specifically right over here, that'll be a mining town. So check this out. There's a decent amount of ore over here, and I think it would be nice to have a little ore mining town slash village, maybe with kind of an old-fashioned style. So let's go ahead and put in a road, and what I imagine would have happened is that this would have been the main road into town, and this would eventually link up with it. So we're going to get rid of this gradual curve, and we're going to continue this road down that way. And I think a 4-lane road will be just fine for that. A 2-lane might just be too problematic. So, sorry to those of you who use this road on your daily commute. You're just going to have to be patient for not very long. It'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. And let's go ahead and free form this a little bit. We need to go through the valley over here. What is that red thing? Slope too steep. Oh, okay. Well, nothing to worry about. We're not doing that. We're going down here and through here, and I guess the town itself will be right about here. So we're going to go ahead and put in just a little bit of straight road for our downtown section. We're going to have a tiny little downtown here. It's going to be pretty minute. And probably kind of Spartan. So we'll go ahead and have roads coming out of both sides. Like that. And we'll do the same thing over here. And that's our basic town layout. Now let's go ahead and do the zoning. So for the industrial area, we will go ahead and just kind of swallow all of this up. Like so. We don't need to go all the way back. Just something like that. And then these things can overlap, which is nice, because this region here, and we'll extend this outwards along the road, at least a bit, because we'll probably want some freestanding buildings out here. There we go. Okay, so this town, we shall call it the little village of Mudslide. And I have a theme for this. We have American 1900 low-density commercial and North American intercity is what I had in mind. And then, oh, it didn't get named. Let's try that again. Mudslide. Enter. Cool. Alright, and then this region here, we need to put down the entrance to the minefields. Minefields. Okay, yeah, they harvest mines. It's literally a mining town. The whole town is built on a minefield. That's why it's called a mining town. Okay, alright, so Mudslide needs power, and I think Mudslide, in a little independent city, is going to have its own little independent power supply, and will run a small road off to the side, and we'll kind of tuck it up in the hills back here. And this will also be a good place for the local dump, I suspect. Okay, let's go ahead and pop down that coal-fired power plant. I'm sure nobody will get cancer. Perfectly safe. Clean coal. There's no such thing as clean coal. And, alright, so, I think also Mudslide gets its water from a water tower up in the hills back here, maybe. I'm not sure if this requires power. I need to make sure it's not too close to the coal power plant, because that would be bad. And maybe just a little up the middle, like so. And I don't think the coal plant needs power, water, but the water tower does need power. So we'll go and grab our rural power line, and we'll run one up like that, and connect it over here. And that should be enough to get us started. We will go ahead and start off with some low-density residential here, and I'm really thinking low-density right now. We're going to have just a few houses spread out really well. And for the record, no, I didn't turn the weather effects on. They seem to like to turn themselves on, but I know that this does not look good on recorded video, so long dynamic weather. And hello, downtown Mudslide. So, downtown Mudslide, right? We need a couple of facilities here. What I'd like to do is have a crematorium. Yes, we're anchoring the town with a crematorium. Maybe not. Maybe we'll put it like off to the side here. And we should have a sauna. I should put a sauna down somewhere. Some of these cool things you can build, I've been kind of neglecting, and I feel bad about that. I've never really looked into the warehouses either. I'm not sure what they're good for. I just realized something else. We have a water supply here, but we don't have anywhere for the sewage to go. And I don't really have any options because it's not close to water. So I was going to kind of isolate the power and water grid here, but I guess that's not really an option. So we'll do this. And yes, we're a little low on sewage treatment capacity here. That's irksome, but not the end of the world. We'll look into that before we move on to the next thing. And because this is kind of an old-timey place, I think we will use this school as part of the European model, but I think it will pass as like an old-time American school if it has to. Let's go ahead and get the power going here. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get the power grid connected without having to go completely crazy with the power lines, because it blocks off a lot of potentially zonable places, and I don't really like that too much. And then we'll do downtown, and we'll have maybe something coming into town here, and then most of the buildings will be along Main Street here, and I'm just kind of varying the sizes so that we can have a nice variety of buildings. But it's all going to be, as you can see, very low density. And very quaint. I like these building sets. You'll see them as they pop up. These are, I guess they're not quite Victorians, but they're nice looking little houses. I'm in favor of these things. We are going to have to do some terraforming to make this all look a little more natural. And then the important part, obviously, is the mining district. And we obviously need to start out with the ore industry main building, and that's going to be kind of part of the town here. It's not going to be off in the hills, but I think right about, maybe it makes more sense to put it here. Okay, so we got our small ore mine, our sand storage, and our ore grinding mill, and I'm going to put in the ore mines, obviously up in the hills, but things like the mill will go right here by downtown. And I guess we have no choice but to run some power over here. So what we'll do is we'll just go like that. That should get them powered up. They already have water, so that's fine. And now let's take a quick look at the ore supply here. Yeah, so it's pretty obvious where we can go here. It's up in the hills and along this flattish area here. So let's put down a small gravel road. I think should be okay. And we'll run it up into the hills here. And along here. That's about as far as we want to go, I suspect. Hey, check it out! Zubu Mafu has reached level 2, and that rhymes! Alright, we got an insect, amphibian, and reptile house and a bison enclosure. So maybe we'll go back today and expand the zoo a little bit. Maybe we'll wait until tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But right now, Mining Town. Won't you take me to Mining Town? Won't you take me to... No, that was Funky Town. We actually have a Funky Town, so we can't really steal its theme song. And one more up here, I think. And there we go. All right. These guys have no water. They want water, I guess. Be that way. What else are they complaining about? Multiple problems. No power, no water, and a low amount of raw materials? What do you mean low amount of raw materials? Don't be like that. Why you gotta be like that? These all have raw materials. Y'all being super whiny. And I'm not a fan of y'all being super whiny. So hopefully that won't be too much of a problem. I thought the density looked okay. You know, considering that I chose a bunch of different sizes, I seem to be getting a bunch of identical buildings downtown here. But whatever, at least it's filling out, and all of these houses seem to be 1x3s. So I guess we'll kind of anticipate that and go like this. I don't even know if they're like 4x4s or anything, so we'll check, see what happens. I don't know if they're 1x2s either, but that might fill these things in a little bit nicer. So let's see if they're 1x2s. And the fair town of Mudslide is coming along. You know, I like the way these buildings block together. Actually, I don't mind having some gaps, but I'm thinking I might fill some of these smaller gaps in to make for a bit more of a monolithic downtown. And I'm not 100% sure this will even work. There might not be 1x2s in this set. Oh, there are. There definitely are. So let's take a look at that. Yep, that's filling in just fine. And these are actually cute little buildings, these little 1x2s and 3s. This is nice. This is kind of what I had in mind. There's a lot of towns in the California foothills that have this kind of like downtown strip. And I've always thought they looked really cool. Now, these center areas are a little bland, and I think what we'll do is we'll grab a dirt road. Don't do that. Don't be like that. And we'll kind of run it through downtown here. I mean, through these back lots. And we can fill that out a little bit. Oh, come on. How can you be so unhappy just because you're getting some neighbors? NIMBYs, man, I'm telling you. Always with the NIMBYs. So did we determine whether... Yeah, it's all just 1x3, isn't it? All of these things are getting filled in by 1x3s. There aren't even any 1x2s. So we'll just anticipate that. And fill it in with the assumption that I guess these guys won't fill in, but I'm gonna give it a try anyway. Oh, they're having some serious issues finding employees, so we're definitely gonna need more people living out here if we want these businesses here to succeed. Also, trash services. We are going to definitely need trash services here. So we're just going to go with this single incinerator plant back here opposite the coal power plant, and we'll see how that goes. Yep, all 1x3. So let's do the same thing on this side. Start here and we'll go like down and across a bridge. No, I don't want a bridge. That's what I want. And we might even have a little side street here and say here. I'm not sure any of the zones I just created are actually usable, but we'll see. And a few more houses here, I suppose. Have a little cluster. Don't want to get too close to the industry, obviously, because that would be weird. It's already getting a little better. We only have a few places now that need employees rather than all of them. But yeah, none of these 1x2s are filling out at all. So, no use having them zoned, I guess. But what we maybe can do is use some of the area that I zoned for a small park. I'm thinking a playground. That seems to be kind of the most appropriate thing for a place like this. Small playground? Small playground. Yeah, we could put that out here. Look at that. Everybody's happy because now there's a playground for their kids to go to. And what Mudslide needs now is some trees. And I want some big trees. Let's start with, oops, start with maybe some giant redwoods up around here and out in the back lots. And then we'll put in some pines as well, because pines are kind of our bag. And here as well. A couple more redwoods over here. And let's go ahead and just kind of plop a few around randomly here to fill the place out. And that's looking pretty good. So this ore station right here does not have enough raw materials. Did I put it like too close to the edge? I did. That's okay. I think I can move it, right? And we'll just kind of move it in here. Now, in case it wasn't clear, I did recently disable ore depletion because I have nothing against the concept in theory, but it depletes so fast that you build like a region, and then by the time you go around to take a second look at it and see if it's time to expand, it's already depleted. So instead of letting it deplete, I'm going to just kind of control myself. Make sure I don't go completely overboard with any of the densities. Don't put too much mining stuff up there, and just kind of let it ride. So let's take a quick break from the town of Mudslide here, which looks kind of nice. I feel like the terrain needs a little foliage, so hold on, let's do some vegetation first before we move on. And see what we can get here. Not much, apparently, not if we're doing it that way. So we'll see what we can pop down manually. And I should remember to grab a couple of different ones while I'm doing this, otherwise. That's a cute little town, right? Okay, we've only got 2 buildings left that need employees. We still have some housing filling in here. Problem with crime, I get that. I don't know if this is worthy of an entire police station, but I guess we'll go ahead and put one down here. We're not making lots of money. We're making very little money, and a police station would put us in the red. So sorry guys, you're not getting cops just yet. You're gonna have to wait for it. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot about reconnecting this. I should probably do that, huh? So we'll keep it simple. We'll run a line out from here at 90. We'll run a line out from here at 90 degrees until... Alright, we'll do this the old-fashioned way. Just like that. And this corner here, I know it's not necessarily high-value real estate, but it's the kind of place where you'd expect a couple of little corner shops, isn't it? And then as you drive up into town, oh, this is nice. I think maybe we should have a little bit of residential off the side here and there. You know what we could do? We could have a little trailer park outside of town. So let's put something out here. No, come on. Can't possibly think I want a bridge there, right? This one's too high is what the problem is. Just like that. Summit Way, that's appropriate. I like that. And we'll put down maybe a hedge at the front for a little bit of privacy. This one? No, we want a network hedge. From there to there. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and create a little zone here. Did I? Oh, you know what? I already have a zone here. So let's go ahead and take this zone out. And we'll limit this to Mudslide for now. Maybe not quite that limited. And we'll create a separate little region around here. And I think I'm legally required to call my trailer parks Shady Pines. And enable theme manager, trailer park, there we go. And let's go ahead and zone this a little bit. There's not a lot of room here, is there? It's just going to be a couple of trailers. But we don't need a lot of trailers. And I don't even know if all of these are going to fill out. Some of these might not. Might not fill out at all, frankly. Alright, let's take that hedge and run a little more hedge over here. And over here. And those ones need to be manually moved a little bit, obviously. If I can select the node. I cannot. Fine. I'll just bulldoze it. Try again. It's actually, honestly, probably easier to just put it down here and then move it. And this one's going to be easier to deal with because we can just go like that and like that. These guys all have water, but they don't have power. Where is the nearest supply of electricity? It's well, it's the power plant, so that's straightforward. We'll just run it from here down to here, down to here, and over to here, like so. Okay, so the employment issues here have been resolved. There's no shops here that are still looking for employees. We'll check in with the mining zone shortly as well. I'm not really getting a trailer park vibe out of some of these places. I mean, some of them are obviously trailers. Some of them a little less obvious. I don't know how this is going to fill in. This is probably connected to this road, so it's probably not much use at all. Including this, but maybe we can extend this road just a little bit and get a little more space that way. So what I'll do is I'll take a very light curve and we'll go out and... Oh, they're sad. I got nothing out of that. I got this little section here. But it's better than nothing, so I'll take it. And we'll see how that goes. We'll have like... No, that's going to end up with a weird backlot if we do that, so... We're not going to do that. And since it's called Shady Pines, we're legally required to plop down some pines. Shady or otherwise. Not that we don't already have some pines. There we go. And now I want a few little commercial areas coming into town. And let's look at the zoning here. We have a couple of unzoned areas, and maybe it would make a welcome change if we had a few slightly more modern looking places on the edge of town. So we'll go ahead and we'll do this. All right, I thought I renamed you Shady Pines. Thank you. All right, they're really pissed off about their crime rate here, and the cops ain't coming, man. So I guess we'll go ahead and build a police station. And we can put that right here. Excellent. So cool, we got our first little... Oh, you don't have power. Man, you could have gotten an extension cable and sorted this out yourself, guys. I mean, it doesn't look hard. Excellent. Alright, some minor trash issues up here, but I see garbage trucks coming. So I'm not too worried about this. Let's take a quick moment to take stock. Let's see how everything's going here. See if we have anything that's in urgent need of attention. We'll look at traffic. For now, this looks lovely. We've got a crime victim there, but you know what? I just put down a police station, so that's not a big deal. We've got... Our trailer park looks perfectly okay. I feel like, yeah, there's nothing to zone here. There's just no room. Alright, so, quick overview. I don't see any urgent blinking lights here. Our industry is on fire, but I don't think that should be a problem. There comes the fire truck. We can follow it, because that's fun. Ah, no! Bashed into the donut truck. The donut truck can't wait to get to the fire either. These first-person views are really fun. Okay, are you guys, like, putting out the fire? Yeah, look at that. Look at those hard-working firemen, working hard, being firemen. Hence the name, I suppose, but it still impresses. Oh, it's kind of getting out of control, isn't it? It's spread to those pressurized gas containers. I'm pretty sure pressurized gas containers are not supposed to be on fire. And I'm reasonably sure that if they are on fire, very bad things can happen. So I'm hoping these guys don't get their sorry asses exploded. Nope, looks like they're fine. Well done, boys. Good intentions finest. Alright, the little suburb that we built yesterday looks nice. Honestly, these houses look better with high density than when you leave a lot of space, but every now and then you get stuff like this where these people should have really built their house a little closer to the curbside. And I'm just going to veto the architecture on that. You're going to have to build something a little less stupid. So let's see what we got here. We got a corpse waiting for pickup. That's not an issue. We've got a shop that can't find enough customers, so be it. Sometimes they fail. We've got some crimes going on down here, but they're probably going to be fine. We have a fair amount of crime here. It seems our police station might not be doing very well. We do have one. But maybe the location is problematic. Should we try moving it to a more central area? We could maybe put it down here and see if that helps. I don't know whether this will help. I suspect it might. And then here, we have kind of gaps here, and I think for one, what we could do is put down maybe one of the unique plazas somewhere around here. What about here? That's not really what I was going to do, but I was thinking about putting some of these uniques down anyway. And no time like the present. Oh jeez. Again with the asphalt causing these odd little cracks. It's irksome, but it's something we just have to deal with, unfortunately. Unless we pave this entire thing. If we do that, we need a slightly larger brush size. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm not saying that looks great. It looks very asphalty. But I suspect we can find some use for it. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and put down some commercial zoning around back here. I don't want anything zoned on the actual roundabout because that's just a traffic nightmare waiting to happen. But here, absolutely. And here as well, to be honest. We'll do low density, do a couple of 4x4s with a small one in the middle. And that should fill that area out nicely. But that doesn't solve this. So what we'll do, I think, is we'll put down some high density commercial in between some of these buildings. Not all of them, and they don't have to be huge. But I just want these little gaps to be a little less pronounced. And then we can go for some low density commercial along here. Again, little stuff. Nothing major, nothing crazy. And we'll leave some space open here for like a park or something later. And once that fills in, it should look a little less spiky, if you will. And we can do the same thing over here, although the gaps here are a little smaller, so there might not be quite as much opportunity. But something like that. Now what about this? I think we can put some shops down here. Okay, so we've got most of our demand pretty well sorted right now. People are still looking for places to live. And we still have some places we can zone. So we'll go ahead and Put some high density residential down. I was gonna say here, but we're gonna end up with a really big cluster of high density residential if we do that. But what about here? We could have a couple of residential towers here. So this is looking pretty good. Everything here seems to be well under control except that one touristy shop that can't find enough customers. And Mudslide's doing fine. The industry doesn't seem to be doing great. They're not getting enough raw materials. And they're losing money, which is unfortunate. But what we can do is we can put down... I'm going to get rid of this just because it's... Well, for one, it's no longer necessary. But the blinking bugs me. But let's go ahead and put down maybe one more mine or two up here. We can run a dirt road up along the side of the mountain on this side, like so, and then we'll pop down another ore mine, right? Come on, don't be like that. Right nowhere. I can pop it down exactly nowhere along this road. Ah, nope, wait. Right at the end there. Oh, jeez, that looks... You know, if this makes sense in any context, I guess it's in the context of a mine, because you could say they've dug it out, but some of these things still look a little rough. Oh, and they need water and power. So whiny. Always needing stuff. What happened to... What happened to capitalism and free commerce? I mean, guys. Okay, you know what? We got a couple of new zoo exhibits that we can build, so let's spend a minute or two expanding the zoo. Let's take a look here. Parks and plazas. The picture of the elephant. Click on the elephant to learn more. And what did we get? We got... the insect, amphibian, and reptile house, and the bison enclosure. Okay. So the bison enclosure is big, and it looks like it's like this enclosure where it comes with its own road. So that might be troublesome to place, but I'm reasonably sure we can get the reptile exhibit in without hurting ourselves too badly. Let's go ahead and slap down a bit of path over here. Does that seem about right? Let's not do straight lines here. Let's stick with off-kilter. Trying to grid stuff like this up just doesn't work. And then we'll put this here. Look at that. Well, that's nice. That's got no interior, but it's nice. And then we'll smooth the terrain down around it a little bit. Yes. Need to close this because I can't see what's going on. Brush strength down. And oh, right. I think we can flatten the terrain a little bit and then put the power pole back. How's that sound? I think that's a perfectly smart idea. We don't have to go quite as far either. We're good right there. Okay, so we have officially added an attraction, and while we're at it, there is some decor we can add, and I think we should. Not like that. And yeah, there we go. Prop anarchy. That's what I'm talking. I was going to put down a sign here, but there already is one, so let's not do that. We can put one down here. Why are you not rotating? And maybe here. The right click to rotate thing doesn't always want to register. And here. And there. And then we'll put some signs down. Well, there aren't a whole lot of intersections that we need to worry about. There's like 2, so no big deal. It's all pretty straightforward. And maybe some picnic tables down along the paths here and there. I don't want people falling off the cliff, so let's not be too coy with these. And is this the cafe? Yeah, we'll have some tables by the cafe. Unless, you know, this is the restrooms, in which case this is a weird place for picnic tables. Okay, and some benches. Well, we already have a bunch of benches along the trail, so I don't think we need to worry about that. Let's see how these are doing. So 17 visitors to the bird exhibit, 21 to the antelopes. Only 9 made it up the hill, and nobody has ever visited the insect house. I guess they don't like bugs. Okay, now about that other exhibit, the bison enclosure. What can we do about the bison enclosure? This is going to be harder to expand than I anticipated, honestly. Wait, is this trying to snap? I have no clue. Okay, it's got a path on one side, so it's going to want to connect to that. And yeah, there's just not really a place for it. Back here would be our best bet, but we're still going to get slope too steep issues. So let's try to do a little bit of terraforming here and see if we can't make it all a little more suitable. Much bigger brush. I don't care too much if these slopes in the back are pretty steep. What do you think? Does that give us a little more space for our bison enclosure? Let's see. What is this? Sand. Sand? Just sand. Okay, just sand. Not what I'm doing right now. Let's get back to our zoo. And our bison enclosure. Here we go. So, okay, I see. It doesn't snap as such. I think what we'll do is maybe put it down on the edge here. Like that. Not quite, but close. Move it out a little bit and just get a little more space to breathe, so to speak. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and connect the bits and pieces together. If I can stop clicking the wrong buttons for 5 seconds, that is. And then we'll hook this up too. Same road. Just go like, let's give it a little curve. Like that. Bit of water for the bisons, because bisoning is thirsty work. And just kind of filling in the roads here. We'll go ahead and put down a regular curved road over here. And maybe we can have a second set of restrooms back here. So yeah, the zoo is getting zooier. Look at those bisons being all enclosed in their enclosure. They look like happy little bisons, and I guess the reindeer and the moose deer look pretty good. They're basically the exact same animal. But this is a nice zoo. This is a perfectly pleasant little zoo nestled up in the mountainsides. Zubu Mafu to you too. Cool, good stuff. Let's see how we're doing. Oh yeah, it's costing us lots of money. And I think it might have something to do with the fact that the ticket prices are really low, so let's raise the ticket prices just a little bit to cover the costs of the bisons. And I did kind of build a Disneyland parking spot for a Knott's Berry Farm attraction. Okay, it is time. Our zoo crapper has crapped out on us. We're going to have to put down some more sewage processing facilities here. Water pumping station, nope. Eco water outlet, check. And you know what? These things cause so little pollution, and it's all downstream, and I'm just gonna keep stacking them here. No, don't be like that. I'm going to totally move you back to a more inline position and move you down a little bit. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, alright. Do we have time? We have a few more minutes. Let's take just a second or two to look into... That's not what I was trying to do. A second or two to look into our public transit, because we haven't really paid it much attention lately. And I'm having trouble getting customers here. It's all fairly minor, you know, it's just a shop here or a shop there will occasionally close down. And it's not like every time you see something blinking, you immediately have to do something about it, so look at all these people. So it's not too big a deal. Alright, let's start with our subway lines. And that's our tram line, so let's start with our tram line. This looks pretty good. I don't see any stops that have way too many people on them. I see reasonably full trams. We could lose one and still be fine, but I don't think it's necessary. We're still in the green, so I think we're good. Let's see. Yeah, this is all just fine. Everything here perfectly good. Alright, excellent. Let's check in on the subway. Alright, we got the two lines. The number one line is the original line that goes from the university to downtown and to the tourist area here. And that one is very busy indeed. So let's go ahead and set the funding back up to 100%. I think one extra train will do the trick here. In particular, Oh, that's the terminus station. That's over by the university. In particular, here we have lots of people waiting, so hopefully one extra line will take care of that. Very good. And the number 2 line is the express line from our transit hub to Funky Town. And that one is in need of more capacity. So we'll go ahead and add a 4th train onto here as well. That's not desirable, obviously. We don't want hundreds of people waiting on a subway, especially if they don't really have any other choice. They couldn't walk home if they wanted to. So that's... Is that better? It looks better. I mean, it's still only 2 stops. It's 1 stop by the transit hub and 1 stop here, but these trains are just permanently full. We'll take a look at the buses, and then we'll come back and see how everything's going here. So let's just worry about like the bigger lines. Okay, this is a problem. We got 150 people waiting here. Which line is this? This is the big line that serves basically the entire coastal section of our main town. And that right there is not going to fly. So what I think we'll do here is we'll split this up into 2 lines. We'll get rid of all of the stops on this side. And we'll build a separate line to service this side of town. So that's much more straightforward. It's still a pretty elaborate line. And I'm looking at... We have 2 buses serving the school here. Maybe we can pull it in a little bit and have one of the buses there instead. So we could do that. And then we can move this to here. And that gives us a more manageable bus line. And then we'll create a new bus line to service the other side of town here. And we'll just run it at the same place because it's easy to walk from the tram over to here. And we'll go up to here and around to here, down here. And I don't think we need to stop at the school. We'll do this and this and that. Okay, so we've split up that single bus line into 2 more modest bus lines. Hopefully that will help with the congestion. What are we doing here? What's going on here? All right. I think I broke it. Not sure what happened there. Let's go ahead and just start again. A little mystified there. That was weird. But it's okay. We'll just set it up properly this time. There, and I guess here, and here, and here, and there. Is that more or less how I had it last time? I think I had a stop here. But we have this stop here instead. Maybe if we move it over here. And then we could put a stop over here as well. Those are kind of close together. But this is a perfectly workable bus line. Okay, let's see if there are any other buses in need of our attention. That was our busiest line there, and there's still crazy people standing here, but we need to let it ride a little bit before we can decide whether there are any problems. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Which line is this? I just closed it, didn't I? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, you know what? That's going to have to be something for the next episode, but what I would like to do is leave you guys with a quick and attractive trip all the way through town on our trams. So thank you all for watching, enjoy the tram ride, and we'll fix that bus next time. Take